Hi, my name is Arvind, and today we are going to discuss about account receivable aging report. I'm not going to give any definition as such, but I would like to help you understand what is this account receivable aging report, why this report has to be created, who creates this report, what are the tools and technologies which are currently being used to create this kind of a report, and what will happen if this aging report is not created, right? Let's take an example of a large supplier company and who has got very large customer base, and let's assume there are more than 5,000, 6,000 customers to whom they are supplying material on a regular basis, right? And there is an account receivable department, and every month they have to arrive at a overall amount receivable from different customers, right? So how will they arrive at, right? So they should really understand what is total account receivable outstanding from different customers, right? And to do this, they have to consolidate total account receivable from all the customers, how much is due, right? And if there is pending amount, with whom this amount is pending, right? And what is the category of pendency, right? Whether it is 0 to 10 days pending, or 10 to 15 days pending, or 15 to 30 days, or 90 days or above, right? So that's the entire purpose, and that analysis, right, which is created integrating various information, right, and that report, right, that is an AR aging report we are talking about, right? So I'll also create a detailed video where I will actually show the entire aging report in a different tool, right? So wait for that video. It may happen, it may come in a couple of weeks. So let's continue with our discussion now. Okay, so let me briefly talk about what is included in any aging report. So most important thing is the name of the customer, right, from whom this amount has to come, and the invoice date, right, and the invoice due amount. When I say invoice date, that means when the invoice was created, right, and invoice due date. Today, suppose today is Jan, right, Jan 2023, right, and if the amount due is March 2023, it means invoice is issued today, whereas the amount is due 60 days post the date of an invoice. So that information should be part of the aging report. Third is invoice amount, whether it's a $100, $200, $1,000, $10,000, what is the dollar amount which is pending, right? And not necessarily it has to be a complete amount. It can also be the invoice amount, against which amount received, right, against which amount pending, the various buckets of the total payment due, right? That is also critical information. And then what is an outstanding balance as on today? If I am performing an analysis today, I should know as of cutoff date today what is an outstanding item. And then could be a payment history of the customer, right? So it can also include the payment history. It means based on the previous data points, whether the person has actually made the payment on time as per the due date or not. Even other information is included in the aging report. Yeah, and most important and last but not the least, customer information, the contact number, the email address, right, or single point of a contact in the customer side, which is an accounts payable team, or the sales team, right, or the purchase team. Who is the point of a contact over there who would be responsible to make a payment, right? So these are some critical elements in any kind of an aging report. All right, so let's understand who performs this aging report and who create this kind of an aging analysis in any company. I'm talking about the large companies where there is a dedicated team within order to cash department, right, who would be responsible to create these aging reports on a regular basis, right? That person is generally a subject matter expert who has good analytical skill, who understand the business very well, and who can play around with the numbers, and who can design all kind of an outcome, because it cannot be everything numbers, right? A management want to really look at that report in a different perspective, right? An accountant would look the same report in a different perspective, or a collection team would look the report in a different perspective, because somebody will take a decision based on a report, somebody will take an action based on the report, somebody wants to make sure that he is helping to solve the problems, right? So everybody will have to understand the report in a different fashion. So that accountant who is creating this aging report has to have a good analytical skill and should really understand who are my stakeholders and what kind of an output I have to create out of this, right? So let's understand what will happen if this aging report is not created, right? So I've already explained, but let me also explain in the context if AR report is not created, what will happen. So who is my internal stakeholder within that, right? So collection team. So basically it will be very difficult to manage or track the outstanding items, amount receivable, right? If you don't create this report, there is no way anywhere we come to know how much amount is actually due from whom, since how many months it is due, right? So that information insight cannot be arrived at until unless we have that kind of report, right? And what is further cascading impact? It will impact on the collection, right? With no information, how will the collection team actually follow with those customers, right? So they will be actually on the mercy of those customers to make a payment. As long as they are making payment, they'll just record that payment, right? So that aging report is must. Third would be, it is very difficult to identify customer payment patterns, right? So aging report, as I said, will help to build a pattern of every customer, whether that customer is diligent, making payment on time, or there is some kind of a delinquency, right? There are some other issues. All those information insight can come. Okay, so then after this, let's talk about how the AR aging report is presented, right? So I told you, right? So this entire gambit of data has to be presented. So how this will be presented? So basically, generally it is presented in a tabular format, either in Excel dashboard or in a data format. And some stakeholders, they want to see the dashboard. There are some stakeholders who want to see the data in line item details, right? So generally Excel is used and various kind of bucketing are created. There is also a tool or there is a technology in place, right? So there are business intelligence tool like Power BI or Tableau, which are used to create these kind of dashboard. Also there are third-party cloud-based softwares. So these cloud-based softwares are integrated directly with the systems or ERPs. That ERP and these cloud-based softwares integrate data, entire system feeds comes, and the report is populated basically on the real-time basis, right? So on the real-time basis, entire tracking can be done. There are great ERPs or software available who can get into any level, right? So all information insights are readily available. Even they will guide you who are those default customers to whom you have to make the calls today, to whom you have to follow for the payment. So entire collection strategy is completely different, which I will cover in a separate video. Let me restrict my conversation only related to AR report over here, right? And then beyond that, there are some companies who also have their customized software. Some companies who doesn't want to use their third-party software because data threat, right? They may feel that okay, their data may get compromised, so they inbuild their own database and they want to make sure that the entire reporting mechanism is tracked in the aging report. Okay, so let me also talk about who are the internal and external stakeholders of the AR reporting. Collection team is the first internal stakeholders who need this aging report, or because that will help them to create a strategy, right? And on the basis of various categories of the customers, they will prioritize whom to follow first, whom to follow second, and which are those top customers where the maximum amount is spending. Do I need to follow them today itself? Today is month end. I have to get all in, money in. I have to get a promise to pay from them, right? So they will take all action based on the aging report. Second is within finance department, treasury team. And they are the one who manages funds for the entire business. They are the one who wants to make sure that they are receiving the funds on time, because there are many stakeholders to whom or other areas where they will need to allocate the funds. So treasury also plays an important role in terms of the stakeholder. Third one could be the sales team, because sales teams get this data inside. It will help them to create a sales strategy. It will help them to create the arrive at the credibility or the credit scoring of the customers, right? If they have to negotiate further, the customer who is making a payment on time, or customer who is not making a payment on time, will help them to take a lot of decisions while finalizing the orders. Also, there are many stakeholders in FP&A, financial planning and analysis team, FP&A team. There are also auditors who may need various kind of information insights. So basically 4-5 different high level categories of the stakeholders I just talked about. I talked about collection team, I talked about treasury team, I talked about sales team, I also talked about the internal finance team and the auditors. So this was a basic overview of account receivable aging report, and I want to just share my experience, right? How aging report looks like. Maybe I will have different sessions around the same, right? And basis this insight, if you have any question, please message me or post it on media, and I can respond to your questions, right? So this channel is specifically for FnA professionals who are currently working in P2P, order to cash or record to report team. And that's it. You have any questions, reach out to me, and I'll be there to provide any responses. Okay. With that note, thank you, and I'll be rolling a few more videos around the similar topics. Good day. Bye.